The UK Independence Party has been holding its spring conference in this region. At the general election, the party will be fielding candidates in every seat, and it's pinning its hopes on one seat in particular.
Right, are we all happy?
They've been written off on several occasions, but UKIP keeps defying its critics. 12 MEPs, 100 local councillors, and now they believe they're going to get their first Westminster MPs.
From what I hear on the doorsteps, that's that the response has been quite enormous, really.
I think there's going to be a huge protest vote, and I suspect a lot of it's going to come our way.
This man probably stands the best chance of doing well. The former leader Nigel Farage is standing in Buckingham, which borders Milton Keynes. It's currently held by this man, the Speaker John Bercow, and tradition dictates that no one stands against him. The problem you have is that the main parties will tell all their supporters to vote for the Speaker, because that's what tradition dictates.
Yeah, you know, there's a funny thing there, but actually the political classes are increasingly held in contempt by people in this country. I hope the entire establishment in Westminster comes out and says vote for John Bercow. That'll make more ordinary, people who've got their own minds come out and vote for me.
But he's going to have to work hard. A few miles away in the village of Little Horwood, part of the constituency, I couldn't find anyone who's impressed by UKIP.
Opportunists like Nigel Farage and others are wading in and probably wasting their time as well.
They're too radical for me.
The Speaker is unlikely to do any campaigning, but he clearly takes a dim view of his opponent.
People want their politicians to behave in a grown-up way, to have strong views, but to express themselves constructively and with courtesy.
Today's conference slogan was straight talking. UKIP is planning a no-holds-barred campaign. It believes that's what the public wants. Andrew Sinclair, BBC Look East.
And Andrew is back on Sunday with the regional edition of The Politics Show. It's at 12 noon on BBC One.
Soldiers from the Light Dragoons based in Norfolk have today been given awards for their gallantry and service. They recently returned from Helmand province in Afghanistan. The awards include an MBE, a Distinguished Service Order, a military cross, and commendations and mentions in dispatches.
The recognition is nice to always have, but it's more for the regiment, and obviously every time I'll wear the award, I'll think about the people that were lost on the tour as well, so it's not just for myself personally, it's for the regiment and the people that didn't come back from Afghanistan.
Thousands of toads are on the move. Their hibernation is over and they're heading for their breeding sites. But for many it's a dangerous journey, especially on busy roads, which is why volunteers organise special toad patrols. We've been out with one group in Suffolk which has more toads to look after than most.
We're on the edge of Ipswich, the light's fading and these volunteers are about to go to work.
Anyone need a pen?
Most have done this many times, but 15-year-old Sam is joining his first toad patrol.
It was probably about 3 years ago. I think I saw the toad sign in Ipswich and I asked Mum, we should go on one of these. And she's researched it and here I am today.
Within minutes we'd found our first toad. It was one of the unlucky ones. Only a few vehicles come down here, but still they can lose up to 100 in a night.
They were coming down there and they were coming down the bridleway from the barn as well. Yeah.
The road's divided up into sections and every toad we find is recorded, the male often hitching a ride on the female. Eventually, with the first bucket filling up fast, they're released on the edge of the ponds where they'll breed.
It's terrific. It's really interesting looking at these things. You've seen yourself, they emerge from absolutely nowhere. And I think most people here are enjoying themselves.
At the risk of doing a very bad impression of Sir David Attenborough, it really is quite extraordinary. It's just started to rain and these toads are literally everywhere. And you just lay here and they just literally walk past, and at the moment there are 30, 40, 50 just here on the edge of the pond, just making our way down. It really is another one just come past there. It's an incredible sight.
Yeah, it's really important because there are a lot, about 4 or 5 cars come down tonight, come down the road, and we've had to stop the cars from running over the toads.
There's a huge colony of toads here, more than 5,000. It's why this road has been recorded as the busiest road crossing point for toads anywhere in the country. And it's why the work of these volunteers is so crucial. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East, in Ipswich.
Plans have been approved for the extension to the runway at Southend Airport. The government could have called for a public inquiry on a decision by planners on the Borough Council, but the Community Secretary John Denham has told the Council he's happy for it to go ahead.
Football, and earlier in the week we heard how Roy Keane had locked his side away for a proper dressing room dressing down for an hour and a half after their defeat at Watford. It prompted the Ipswich boss to discuss anger and management ahead of tomorrow's match against Barnsley.
Throughout his career, Roy Keane's had plenty to shout about. Well, now it's time to get angry. He's fed up with players who can't play outside of the comfort zone of Portman Road and believes now is the time to tell a few home truths.
Listen, anger's good. It's good to get angry. Trust me, it's an emotion. It's part of the game. And if people upset you, you don't get angry, then I think you're in the wrong game. I think sometimes it's good to go a bit mad. I don't throw teacups. That's not my style. I think I'd rather throw punches.
For a man himself punched by Brian Clough, Keane knows what he's talking about. But anger management is difficult when you feel your side is letting you down. And with Town still not completely clear of the job, Keane knows he's the punch bag, not the boxer.
That's why it's horrible being a manager. You're dependent on players. And if they fancy it, you've got a chance. And if they don't, you know, fortunately for me, I've been given a bit of time here to try and turn things around, and just hope you get to the summer to make sure I can do that. Because I'm clearly not happy with what I've got. It took us 5-6 months to get back-to-back league victories. So if people were expecting us to win 3 in a row, they'd be better off, I think, buying a lottery ticket. More chance of winning that.
It's a relief then for Keane and the fans that Ipswich are at home to Barnsley tomorrow. Town haven't lost on Suffolk soil since September. James Burridge, BBC Look East.